from high atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard. You're listening to SoFloRadio.com. ZNation. ZNation. Where consciousness is queen, love really is the answer. And making a difference is on the menu. ZNation. Organic beats and inspiring treats. Get your weekly dose of vitamin Z now. This is ZNation on SoFloRadio.com.
Hola. Namaste. What's up, lovers of the earth, the star children, the way seers, the visionaries, the rebels. Welcome. This is Zayna de Gaia, and we are live at the ZNation show. We're broadcasting live from Hollywood, Florida, right here on SoFloRadio.com. So this is exciting. We are also broadcasting live on Periscope today. We just got in the Periscope community. So if you want to tune in on Periscope, you can find us as ZNationRadio. Let's take a breath together. Wherever you are, we can always pause. And take a little reality check. A reality check for, stepping out of whatever it is that you're doing, the day-to-day, the thoughts, the emotions, the stories, and tap into what's real. The prana that's moving through all of us, the life force that moves through each and every one of us, animating life, bringing us to the truth that all we have is the present moment. Time is an illusion. The material world is an illusion, yet we live in it, each one of us. Breathe in again. So welcome. I'm so excited about today's show. This is so dear to my heart. You know what we're doing today? I don't hear myself. Let's try that. So we have some special guests on the show today. I'm really excited. Sunset and I are co-authors of a book that just was launched today. And it's called She Loved Herself. So we have a very special show today featuring some of the authors, all of the authors of the book. And it just became available on Amazon yesterday. So right now we have one of the authors, Claudia.
Hello.
Will you say your last name?
Zebersky.
Claudia Zebersky, my dear sister.
Yes.
Welcome. So
Thank you,
beautiful
love.
to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. And Sunset, co-author
Yes.
of She Loved Herself. So, when Suki first approached me with the idea, I just thought, wow, how brilliant. How brilliant to bring 14 women together and share something that we all have dealt with, which is our journey to self-love. And
the special ladies are here.
Welcome, Suki. No, girl, you sit there. Come on in. Yes. We're going to have some of the authors coming in throughout the show. Welcome, Suki. Yes. Welcome back.
I'm so
Hi,
excited.
welcome. Please. Yes.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, yes, welcome, Suki. I was just sharing when you first shared about this project with me, and for me, it's been I was journaling about this morning. It's it's been my journey my whole life. It's been my message my whole life to love myself, to honor myself in one way or another, and I always say we teach, we preach what we need to learn the most. And, just recently we were in teacher training, and we had one of these teachers, these master world renowned teacher, join us on Skype. Saul David Ray, and he was sharing about how he had gone out into like the mountains of India and seeked out this like enlightened master, and he was sitting with these enlightened masters for days at a time, meditating in silence. And then one day he asked him, Master, will you give us, some message or some tip for these times to bring back to the West? This is a true story. It just happened last week. And the enlightened master just paused, and he looked at him and he said, just love yourself. He was like, well, I knew that already. It's pretty trendy to love yourself these days. Everybody's saying, love yourself. Just love yourself. If all else fails, hi, Milina Franke. Just love yourself. Yet, even if we know something, knowing doesn't make a difference in the world. Look how many people want to be, healthy and fit, and yet how many people are overweight and unhappy. And yet, we may know, yes, I know the key to world peace begins with me, and it begins with me loving myself. Then that journey, girl, you got Coolio on your ringer.
That's perfect. We're now teaching us how to love ourselves.
Sorry about that.
No, there's no need. We're having a chat. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. No, that was inspiring. I haven't heard that song in a minute. Been spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise.
Actually, Amish paradise. We're our Yankovic version. So we're Amish,
Oh, wow.
natural things, no modern technology. So
Oh.
I guess it kind of goes with it.
One of the things that also happened this weekend, and I wanted to share it on the show, and I've been like really watching this, is so we had a teacher training session, and somebody came in and did the primal work with us, which is like deep emotional release work. And one of the persons said, I'm sorry. And then the facilitator, Gaia, she looked at her and she said, honey, you need to do me a favor, okay? You're going to tell I'm sorry to F off, okay? So we all just started saying, F off, sorry. Take one up yours, sorry.
We should do an F you sorry right now. Everybody take a deep inhale.
F you sorry. Woo! And then she said after, and then also honoring that sorry had its place in our life. It had its place in our, journey, and we've come to a place where we can let sorry go and tell it not only F you, but thank you, and let it be. So that just coming with that ringer coming on, and I know the first instinct to say I'm sorry, but it's just part of life, and it's like when people say, when they call you and they say, am I interrupting something? Like, yeah, of course you are. What wouldn't you be interrupting? Even if I was doing nothing, you'd be interrupting me doing nothing. So to say, I'm so sorry to interrupt you is kind of like, no, don't be sorry. Don't be hard on yourself. Just be kind and be gentle. And it's not so much that the word sorry is a bad word. It's just the significance that comes with it. And that significance is significance about myself. Like, oh, I don't matter enough, or I'm not valuable enough, or I should feel bad about this, or, being like really hard on myself. Mm-hmm. So instead I take responsibility, and then, I really get interested with the people that I'm with. Like, how did that impact you that I didn't keep my word? How was it for you? And what can we do moving forward to create something else? I find myself in my life, like I've been really observing it, how much I've said I'm sorry, how much I've said it, and how much it has not made a difference except make me smaller. Yeah. Well, welcome, Suki.
Thank you.
Yay! We're so happy to have you.
Excited to be here.
Can you put this in front of you? I can't. Here, I'll scoot over. All right. So, wow. So this whole show is dedicated to this. So I don't have an agenda. I don't have any. I just want to, have us all have an opportunity to share. So we're going to get right into it.
I thank you for inviting us to the show. This is just so exciting because we are all a part of it too. We all really put our heart and soul and really put this rawness out into the universe, and it's being rewarded. Like we're feeling the energy almost immediately.
Yes.
Because what happens is when you speak from your truth and you really come from a place of like, this is who I am, take me with all of my shit.
Yes.
You know, then like, you know, you just do it.
Can I have a Mary J moment?
Yes.
As I sung, take me as I am or have nothing. Nothing at all. I bust out a lot of Mary J's song today. I can feel it. But Suki, I would love to just start by just acknowledging you.
Oh.
I would love for you to share your story, but I'm going to share a little bit of it because I just think it's so inspiring, and I actually forgot that this happened till you mentioned it last week. You know, like because I was like thinking, you know, Suki had a whole book written. Where is it? And I forgot what happened. You know, Suki, you wrote an incredible book, an incredible book. She wrote a book by hand, you know, and you were ready to publish it. And then, may I share this?
Yes.
And, you know, and then one morning you went to the beach and somebody took it upon themselves to go into your car, open your trunk, and take your laptop bag and take your laptop. But that's not the stinger for you. The stinger for you was inside of that bag was your notepad.
I know this feeling.
That had your words in your book in it. And, you know, for most people that would, I mean, I know it did for you too. It took you into whatever whirlwind you went into. And then, you know, and then you got up and you not only got up, but you created a platform for 14 women to ride this with you, which like that part, it's almost like thank you to the person who took that manuscript and had you take like almost like a different approach to things, which is really because it's brilliant what you did. Writing a book with 14 other women allowed you to get it done. But not only that, but to empower all of us, Suki. And that's like, for me, you are such a leader because a leader creates other leaders and empowers leaders. And you've created 14 empowered. I mean, we were already empowered before this, but you've empowered us now to like, you know, like really create ourselves in the world and work together and have this amazing community. And like you're saying, Claudia, create now a movement together that we've all been seeking. And you just like, now it's just like, wow, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it's such an amazing model, right?
Yes.
It's such an amazing model to like take our community with us and create projects together and co-create. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anything you want to share about that journey for you?
Yeah, you know, when you have something like your words stolen, you know, I remember the exact feeling because when I got to the car and I found glass by the side, you know, I was shocked. You know, I looked down, glass by the side, I look at the window, and then I realized my car window's broken. And but they couldn't have gotten anything because there was nothing in there. So I look inside and they've ransacked the place, you know. There were some coins, you know, I've taken some coins. And then I remembered that my laptop was in the trunk. And so I said, oh no, I wonder if they figured out that it was in the trunk. So I went to the trunk, I opened the trunk slowly, and it was gone. I still hadn't figured out that my books were in the bag with the laptop. I thought they had just taken the laptop. So, you know, I'm talking with my friends, we're calling the police, I'm thinking, okay, they took my laptop, and then all of a sudden I thought, oh, what about the books? So I went back to the trunk and I opened the trunk, and I'm just like throwing stuff out of the trunk. And the tears are just like, I couldn't even control them. They're just coming down my face. And it's gone. And I remember just sitting on the ground, just like, I just sat like on the ground and I just lost it. Because it's like, you'll never get it back. People say, oh, you can write it again.
No.
You can just create it again. No, you can't. When you've written something, and this was channeled stuff. So this was stuff that I had been channeling from a higher source. You can't write it again. It's gone. You know, and you're totally right, Z, because it was like this feeling of complete helplessness and complete darkness. And it was a whirlwind. I had to just kind of like, I was tossed in to the tide and I just
Yeah, and I know you had like, you know, you had envisioned the book, you had set a goal, and you had met your goal. Like you were right there. So I can't even imagine what it was like for you at that moment.
Right. So then I had to start again. And I went to this conference called the Hay House Conference, in the Writers Conference in Chicago. And one of the authors there said something very profound to me, because I got up and I asked a question, and I said, I just feel like I'm going in all these directions and I just don't know where the book is. She said, are you sure you're a writer? I said, I've been a writer since I was like able to write. I know I'm a writer. And she said, she said, don't write the book to be famous. Don't write the book to make millions of dollars. Just write the book to be of service. And that was really the thing that kicked me, because then I said, I'm blocking myself. We create these obstacles for ourselves in our lives. Anything that you have a block with in your life, you have created that obstacle. So for me, the obstacle was not writing. I was writing and writing and writing. It wasn't completing, because I was completing. It was birthing. It was actually publishing the book. So, 12 weeks ago, I had a baby daughter, and I pushed that baby out. I talk about labor.
You completed and birthed.
I completed and birthed, and they don't call it labor for nothing. It was a labor. So 17 hours in labor.
Wow.
And I remember at the end of the labor, when your feet are in the stirrup and you're just ready to get that baby right out, because I remember when I went to the hospital, when I had my first contraction and my water broke, I stood up and I said to my husband, my water just broke. I just had a contraction. I'm like doing little dances. I'm like, oh, goddess, like I'm going to do my little belly dancing, And I said, oh, I got to get my hair right. I got to do my nails, get some makeup, and I got to get my fancy, expensive.
You got to be fly for the baby.
I got to be fly for the baby and for the pictures, for Facebook. Yeah. So I did. I got all that stuff together.
Oh my God, I love that.
And I had done my nails and I'd done my hair and I was all ready to go. But when you're in that last hour, just when you're pushing the baby out,
all bets are off.
Who cares?
I didn't give a damn what I looked like. Okay, we had 12 people in the room. I'm sweating. My hair's like up in a bun like this. I did not care what I looked like. And I think that when it came to this book, nobody tells you that self-publishing, you're going to have to go back and forth and this at it and that at it and make sure that the pages are correct and make sure that the book cover is correct. And so the past couple of days, I've been in that last stage of labor, which is I don't care what I look like. I don't care what's going on. We're getting this thing done.
Yeah, I remember your emails. Okay, you guys, let's go. Like,
we're just doing this.
I'm about to give birth. Let's just get this.
And Z is the one that texted and was like, honey, she's like, you're having another baby. I was like, I know, it is like another. Just breathe. I was like, let's do this. So,
Thank you, Suki. So I think it would be great to have everybody share, and it's just a really casual chat. It's like, let's just find out how it's been for everybody. Sunset, you want to start and kind of share, your experience of being part of this book and really what inspires you to love yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. First of all, I was very surprised, and that's my old story. I was just like, but why will you want me in your book? I'm 23. Like, I'm like, I'm like in that place of like starting to really like live fully. And I was like, I don't have a name for myself. I'm new, whatever. And so when you told me like, oh, I want you to be my book, I was just very surprised. And like, I was really like being down on myself. But it came at the perfect time. I was just done with teacher training and I was like, what is life after that? And it was like, I got to write down like where I was at. And maybe not like I was telling Z earlier. It was like, for me, it was like I was writing down my intentions. Because there was a lot of things I wrote down that I was like, yeah, I was kind of feeling that, but I wasn't all the way with it. And now since I wrote that book to now, like there's some things I wrote down and I'm like, I don't even remember writing it down, but I lived through it. Like just being confident and like going after what I want and like really following my bliss and all that. So it was like perfect because I got to get clear, like, how do I want to feel by myself, and really see like, damn, I really been through a lot. And, I've always, like I said, loved myself, but now it's just getting to the next level of that. So I really got to get clear.
What would you say like was your main message?
My main message is like that your mess is your message, like, gotta take a breath. It was really deep. It was just when it came, like me writing this down and really just taking the time, it was like the place I was then, it was like I was so like confused and all of that, and like I really just got time to just be with me.
I think it's also for you, it's like, you know, you embrace maybe the unembraceable, you know, and you love the unlovable. And, you know, I mean that like by, you know, majority of people may not embrace the addicts and the, you know, the ugliness, and that's you. It's like that's who you are to me. It's just like loving yourself is embracing all of it, and you love the ish.
Word, I got to just like be real about all the ugly, but then like at the end be like, you know what, it's okay.
Yeah,
like I love it because I went through those experiences and I went through whatever it was, and you know, I got to learn about myself, and it's okay. That's life, you know.
Yes.
And definitely embracing the raw and the nasty. And it just inspired for me to do the work that I want to do now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, like people like really don't know how they love themselves, or they don't even know they love themselves. And so for me, it's like it was a great opportunity for me to like show my ugly or whatever and connect with people and show them like you're not alone.
yes. Like, I think you give like people the freedom to be, because that's who you've been, like embracing your past and your stuff, you know, like embracing it as part of your journey, and that's okay. So like you walk around Sunset, like I so I acknowledge you for being that for the world. You know, you walk around proud of your mess, you know, and we'll call it your mess, but it's just like whatever you've been through in your life, and you give people permission to also be free.
Yeah, somebody has to do it, right? Somebody has to be the, you know, somebody has to do it. And so I don't mind being that person. Like, I'm not trying to be perfect. And you can either embrace my story or you can judge it, but I don't care anymore.
There's no such thing as perfect. Perfect doesn't exist.
Exactly.
It's an illusion.
It's a myth.
It's a myth.
The myth of perfection. It's scary sometimes working with perfectionists for me. It's there's a good balance, you know, between like going for that excellence, I would say, versus perfection, you know, and then even excellence is relative in a state of mind, you know. So awesome. Thank you, Emily Sunset Martinez, co-author, motivational speaker, yoga teacher,
producer,
goddess extraordinaire, producer, co-host, sister. I love you.
Thank you guys.
The titles game.
I know. I'm like, oh damn.
We're live on Periscope. If you want to tune in, it's really fun. ZNationRadio. We're on live. Milina Franke.
Hey.
Hey, sister.
It's really beautiful to see each of you today.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Hey,
So good to have you back.
Thank you. We've journeyed far and wide to be right here. It's pretty dope.
Word, we have.
Wow. I would like to take the time and just acknowledge each of you. I see in your faces such an exuberance and an excitement for both She Loved Herself, the project, and seeing how everyone's growing and learning throughout it and using these different techniques. And they're just more than techniques. They're how we love ourselves. These are all the different ways that we uncover the veils and the deeper parts of how we connect. And that's what's been so profound. Like I hang in the background, some to say, because I'm just like, wow, everybody's so amazing all the time. What's going on? And to me, She Loved Herself has been like just this exquisite tapestry of humanity beyond who we are as women and goddesses and co-creators and facilitators in the community. A little bit about my process, like when you first approached me, Suki, I was just like, wow, this is a dream. Like same thing with being on the Z-Nation show, how all these things pop up and it's like, here's the choice, you know? Which way are you going to choose? You're going to choose this path, which is awesome, and this path, which is awesome, or you're going to somehow mediate the two. And that's what's been one of the greatest lessons for me in my own personal story and uncovering. And, you know, it was really poignant how you share, you know, you embrace your own shit and you go with it and you flow with it and you're like, you know, this is who I am and I'm okay with it. And that's what's been like one of the most beautiful, painful, amazing, enlightening, raising things. So you came to me, I was like, hey, this is the idea for the book. And I was like, wow, that's amazing, because these are all people that I look up to, be it, one-on-one, even if we haven't met each other in person. Somehow there's always that commonality and thread of like who we are and where we're going. So I was like, okay, what am I going to write in this thing? I'm going to write something awesome. And I sat with a good poet friend. Her name is Maury, and that's something that I also feel really thankful and inspired in my life, to be surrounded by all these people that are like up to big things, and they're just like doing the work. They're not doing it for the money. We're not doing it, and I'm using we because they is again the third person removed, wherein it's all the commonality of what we see within others is inherently already inside. So how everybody's like, yo, this is what I love, this is what I'm following, and this is the way that I do it. And when you see that magic happen and have it be so visceral, that's what inspires me. So I was like, all right, Maury, I have this project that's going on. I don't know what to write. Everything's so awesome. And I sat down, I would write out things, and it was like, yeah, this is good, but like, she loved herself. What does it mean to love yourself? Is it just this moment right now that I'm creating for some sort of goal, or is it the entire thing that my life encompasses? So I was like, okay, I'm here on planet Earth. This is what it means to love yourself. What can I do but reflect and share it as such? So I went through 3.5, 4.5, 5 years of diary and journaling, and just looked at myself as I wrote. And be it like those moments where I was like, I'm in my shit, I'm so sad, or wow, this was a great day, or whatever. And reading both, the different ways that we write, be it poetry, be it autobiography, be it, prose, whatever that is that comes up. And I just went through these, I think it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 notebooks, and just picked out things from the years, and then wrote the
And Milina does everything by hand.
Yeah. So I went through all that and took out excerpts, and as I saw who was on board for the project, I would sit back and read what I wrote, and I was like, wow, how is it that what I've written somehow brings everything together? How is it that all these things that I thought I was on my own with somehow is like, it's right here, and we're all living it and being it. And that was like this inexplicable, mind-blowing moment. And we ask ourselves, what is your purpose here? And what is my purpose here? I sit there, I look in the mirror, and I'm like, okay, embracing who I was in the past, who I am now, and where I'm going, and keeping that somehow alive and inflame. And just, to me, what it means to love yourself is honoring those that have come before you, and those that are here now, and those that are going to come, because we paved the road. And there's always some way we can improve if you choose. If you choose. However, ultimately, that myth of perfection is always what's right here, regardless of, the lights or the dust, or even like those antiques which have been passed down through the years and have had that level of love from our ancestors onwards. And I'm speaking in generalities again, because details, they can do but so much. I can just communicate as best as we can. And that's where it came from for me. Like, my chapter was just, it's thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you, wherever you are in the story, in this common thread, historically, time, chronologically, emotionally, mentally. It's just what it is. And all that, to me, this project, She Loved Herself, is like this grand love letter from women to ourselves in every way that we embody, both here and now, and our families, our daughters, our brothers, and whatever that might be. So it's really a deep honor to be here. Thank you.
Milina, that's so beautiful. I heard you in your words say namaste. Like, that's who you are. And I was in class yesterday, in yoga class, and it came to me, namaste is I honor the divine in me. Or the divine in me honors the divine in you, but before I can honor the divine in others, I've got to honor the divine in me. And that's, that's who you've been to me, Milina. Like, even when you came on the show as a guest, do you know you spent the whole time acknowledging other people and recognizing people? Like, that's who you are. You really, you honor the divinity in all, and sometimes it takes that to, like, recognize the divinity in others so that we can really authentically recognize it within ourselves. It's just like we're tools for each other to recognize love. Like doggies. Right. Doggies teach us how to love.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And it's...
Or kitties.
And exactly.
Or bunnies.
Or the trees and the grass and the flowers and all that stuff.
And the butterflies.
Yes.
Exactly.
So listen, we're going to take a little break and just hear from our wonderful sponsors and supporters. So ZNation on March 19th of 2016, we are having our 1-year anniversary blowout party.
Yes.
We're fundraising. We have a GoFundMe. It's on our website. And what we're doing, this is phase 1 of funding for ZNation, not only radio, but the ZNation platform. We want to expand the show, take it on the road, get equipment so that we can not only be here in the studio in Hollywood, but be on the road, be able to do Skype interviews, and also, take care of our basic business expenses as a business. So we're really, really excited. We've opened up a lot of opportunities for people, businesses to contribute and, do kind of like, what Suki did, create a platform for people who are on the same page to work together, create together, and empower one another.
Yes.
So we're looking for partners to elevate each other in our own endeavors. If this is something that you're like, wow, I love what they're doing, and you see an opportunity for us to co-create, reach out to us. We're open, we're full of ideas, and we're open to new ideas, okay? So you can contact us by going to ZNationRadio.com, email us, Facebook us, just reach out. And, any communication that you do is awesome. Like liking our page, liking a comment, leaving a review for the She Loved Herself book on Amazon.
Yes,
leaving,
please.
comments on the YouTube station, ZNation Radio, leaving, ratings on our podcast, ZNation Radio. All of that makes a huge, huge difference so that other tribe members can find us and can connect. So thank you so much for all of you for listening, for commenting, and just for being and doing your work in the world. So we'll be back for more She Loved Herself. We're going to get in more with Suki and Claudia, and we'll be back right here on SoFloRadio.com.
Tune in to get
Yoga
tuned
twist.
in. This is ZNation on SoFloRadio.com.
Add a twist of yoga.
Yoga Twist with Julie.
A great way to integrate yoga, meditation, and lots of fun.
Promote family bonding. Help with flexibility and exercise. I teach grown-ups too.
Join Julie for beginner and gentle adult classes.
Book a group, family, or one-on-one session now. Email me, yogatwistjulie@gmail.com.
Follow Yoga Twist Julie on Instagram and like Yoga Twist on Facebook for great family lifestyle tips and Yoga Twist events.
Omar is a certified hypnotist with an intuitive and gentle approach that empowers his clients, allowing them to realize their own wisdom. Personally, I'd been stuck in a heartbreak, and with Omar's help, I got to the root of my suffering and my attachment to staying in relationships that no longer served me. I instantly felt lighter and free from resentment for the first time in years. Contact Omar at 305-343-9210 and cause a breakthrough in your life.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Clark, and I'm a yoga teacher and student at I Love Yoga Studio. It's been my privilege to practice, learn, and expand in this place of ever-evolving love and spiritual growth. When you visit, you'll most likely be greeted with a welcome home, and that's exactly how you will feel, at home and free to be. The studio offers yoga classes that meet you at your level of practice with affordable prices. So check out our schedule at www.iloveyogastudio.com. See you on the mat. Namaste.
Join the ZNation team as a marketing partner. We are always looking for conscious, sustainable businesses to support and share with our growing community. If your business is one that serves humanity and you want the world to know, we want to help you grow. Sponsorship opportunities are available for all budgets and flavors. For more info, call us at 954-604-1290 or visit ZNationRadio.com.
Now, back to ZNation, your weekly dose of inspiration on SoFloRadio.com.
let it be.
I figured for the rap part for today, I'd leave it up to spirit.
Yeah, let it come through.
I tried today. It just would not come through, so I stopped forcing it.
No.
But I want to thank you also. Believe it or not, Suki. So Suki came and taught a beautiful class in teacher training last weekend. It was beautiful. We went through each chakra, and it was so effective, you know. But when the heart chakra came on, we did an exercise, and she played this song. And I don't know if you know this, but that's the first time I heard that song.
Was that the first time you've heard it?
No, I blame it on my Canadianism. But
You've got to be Canadian. Is that song?
And I've been playing it in all my yoga classes.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Thank you for sharing it. Yes, it was so heart-opening and so heart-healing and so beautiful.
I saw Z open up.
Yeah.
I mean, your heart just like poured
out.
Yes.
Poured out. And, you know, it's not till, for me, I really brought intention to looking at my heart, like really just being with it, that I felt how broken it was. You know, like the walls I had, and it just like, and that song came on, and we did like a gazing exercise, and then we hugged, and I just, my heart just blew right open, you know, and that's the theme, you know, to really come to that space where we fully embrace our goddessness. We fully embrace God within us, you know. It's beyond loving yourself. It's just knowing that you are love. And when we know, like, you know, the love yourself is like an old conversation from like the third dimension world, you know, because God just is love. But before we can get there, we got to get through the, you know, material world-ish, which is like all the stuff that gets in the way of us recognizing our true nature, you know. And like that Let It Be song is like just allowed me to see there's so much room for more forgiveness and more compassion, and just more love. So thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful. It was beautiful to teach that class. I mean, every time I teach that workshop, I leave and I just feel like God is driving me home. You know, like I just feel so elevated to the crown chakra.
Yes.
So I just really feel like a complete immersion, like just merging with the divine. So it's just like I'm not even driving. You know, like I'm just sitting.
Yes.
God is
Jesus,
driving me
take
home.
the wheel.
Exactly. Still dangerous on the highway. But yeah, it was beautiful to teach that, and what you're saying really resonates with the book as well. With just you know, that's like Yogi Bhajan says, if you cannot see God in all, then you do not see God at all.
Yes.
You know, so we are all just one small piece of the divine. We're all just one small piece of some greater puzzle. And when we can connect, and each time that I have really felt the closest to God, it's usually when I'm driving, and it's usually when something just like hits me, just like you said, when you're sitting there with your heart just opens up. And I usually have to pull over on the side and just bawl. Right. Okay, yes. Because it's like goosebumps. It's like you just feel it. I understand. And then I'll start crying, and I'll just say, I understand. And so this book is part of a mission for me. It's like since I was like 5 or 6 years old, I would write poetry and I would write stuff, and I would say to my mom, I don't have that much time. And she would say, what do you mean you don't have that much time? You're 5 years old, you're 6 years old, you know, what time is it? And then I would just say, no, I just don't have that much time, and I have so much to do. And it's like, there's so much to do, and this platform is just one of so many things that I feel very called to and driven to from a higher power to do, to connect us to that which we already know, which is that we are made of love, which is we are made of divine love. And we live in a world of hate. And fear. And so what happens is you see things that went on in Paris. You see things like 9/11. You see these things, and you think that that's what human nature is. That is not human nature. That is a diversion from human nature. Human nature is to love yourself and to love other people.
Have you seen little babies when they came out? They're so cute.
And none of them know anything about hate.
No.
They only live life
hate.
aesthetically.
They don't know fear. They don't know hate.
And they smell good.
And they smell amazing.
Till they poop.
Exactly. I should know. I was smell of spit up and poop right now.
I would love to read, what's on Amazon.
Yes.
So learning, the book is called She Loved Herself. 14 women share stories of healing, acceptance, and learning to love yourself. So the Kindle edition is $3.49. You download it, goes immediately. You can read it right away. And then the paper copy is also available. What does it mean to love yourself? 14 women embark on a journey to find out. Along the way, they found pain, happiness, joy, sorrow, guilt, acceptance, poetry, letting go, trusting, relationships, divorce, culture, identity, love, and so much more. Loving yourself means loving it all, the good, the bad, and the freaking ugly. That was Sunset's edition. The freaking. As these women shared their stories, they discovered that true beauty lies within. True beauty lies in the strength of standing in your rawness, being vulnerable, admitting your flaws, and being a shining goddess, even on the days you don't feel that awesome. As women, if we can learn to love ourselves, then we are creating a world of love around us. Women are the creators, and thus, in our own love, we spread love to our children, our grandchildren, our neighbors, our friends, our community, the whole freaking world. We are paving a way, creating peace, passion, sexiness, happiness, and love. We are owning our awesomeness. Hell yeah. But it's so important to own our awesomeness, to own our power. Otherwise we're living an inauthentic life. Yeah. Every time we do anything else, it's like owning our smallness. Mm-hmm. I'm either owning my smallness or I'm owning my bigness. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it all starts with loving yourself. She loved herself. Will you love yourself too? Beautiful. Yeah. All right. So we're live on Amazon. Go get the book.
Yes.
Please
get it now.
Write us a review. Share it with friends and family. Get it as a gift for a loved one. Mm-hmm. Good for anybody. Oh, and also Susie Foltz. Susie Foltz, want to acknowledge Susie.
Oh my God.
Our photographer extraordinaire, friend goddess. So this book was edited by Suki and photographed by Susie. We love you, Susie Foltz.
We love you, Susie.
Thank you
Susie's
so
amazing.
much.
Yes.
Susie really brought out in each of us you know how they say a picture tells 1,000 words?
Yes.
We could have written the entire book, but the picture and that look in your eyes, and the fact that she could capture that, I just thought that just took it to another level. It just took it to this deeper, just beautiful level, what Susie did. And that's why it's really important to get the paperback. So get the paperback, because when you have it in front of you and you can really see,
you can feel it,
the depth of that photography. I mean, wow.
Awesome.
You don't know how beautiful you are until you can just look at it. Just look at the picture and say, this is me in my rawness. I didn't need the makeup. I didn't need to put on all these masks and all this facade, right? It's just like me and my soul beaming through.
Let the light shine
Let the
through.
light. Yeah.
Oh, Claudia, will you share your experience? So what was it? What did I ask you, Sunset? What was, what is loving yourself for you as your journey? And how was it like for you to contribute for this book?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I really want to just thank you and acknowledge you for the work that you're doing, for creating this platform, for us to share our message. I'm so honored as I listen to all these goddesses, and Suki, for your vision. For me, it's been a journey within and outside. It's been an inner and outer journey as I continue to find. I'm still asking the question, what does it mean to love yourself? I've gone through transformation in the last 3 years.
Yes.
And I think the catalyst for me was really love. And I've been witness to the power of love. And the more I allow the love to come inside, the more I open my heart, and the more I find the strength to really go and see myself, and like we say, own everything, every part of ourselves. And then, from that owning, this is mine, this is who I am, from that space, everything starts to bloom, our gifts and our medicine. And it's been a self-discovery, a journey of self-discovery, and very profound. This year I really took on self-love.
You had a challenge you had you had like a page on Facebook where you were posting about loving yourself and your journey. What was that you did? And it was something you did just by yourself.
Absolutely, and it was very synchronistic how everything happened. You know, I met Suki back at Yoga Fest, and it was like instant connection, like love. Boom. We're like, oh my God.
I just wanted to keep hugging her.
And we actually had a red tent gathering about self-love and self-care. And I felt like we just opened up the door to a whole new world, and I wanted to go deeper with it. So I had a group created, and I decided to create for myself a 21-day self-love sadhana where I would just ask the question and let things reveal. Wow. Like what would, reveal.
And then she would share it in the
And then
Facebook
I would
page.
share it on the group, like what was coming up. There was a lot of things that were coming up. Suki was part of the group. And then she approached me with the idea of the book, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so honored. Absolutely, this is the perfect time for me. And I've gone through divorce 2.5 years ago, so it really has been, like I said, finding myself, connecting with myself.
Would you say that was the catalyst for you?
Absolutely, it was a catalyst.
If you're dealing with a separation that's difficult right now, no, it's the catalyst to your biggest expression of life right now. Is like a total gift.
Absolutely.
Yes,
it is. It's a gift. I've really been able to see it as a black canvas and a springboard for me to jump and just rise whatever I choose to, right? And I really feel, and it's been an honor, and the experience of us creating the book, like gathering together, meditating together. That. I mean, the whole experience has been organic. It really has been a joy. It's coming from a joy, from our pleasure. It's coming from our authenticity as we really get naked. Like I tell my story of how I found myself in divorce and then how I sort of went through my journey. So it's very moving, and even for me, it's like, wow,
and personal and very personal,
intimate. Very
I'm curious
intimate.
to know, because I was following your journey of your 21 days. I'm curious to know, like, what did you get from it, essentially? I'm sure many things.
I really got that's where everything starts. Like, that's our source, that's our essence. Once we really allow ourselves to just, number one, uncovering, like, who am I? And just really going deep. And then once we connect that, like I said, everything started happening. So it's sort of like when we talk about the law of attraction and really creating the life, it all starts there. Like once we really connect with our own heart, then we start generating like all this love for everything, not just myself. I'm loving my life, every little aspect of it. Yes, even the challenges, right? Because I go through my process and I cry and all of it that comes along with it.
I love my crying.
Crying is awesome. It's such an amazing release. Crying.
I think I've cried the most in the past 6 months.
Ugly crying.
So much crying.
Just ugly cry sometimes. Just real ugly with this. Let it all out, Let it all out. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. We should create more spaces and talk more about it so that people can feel comfortable dealing with their emotions.
Somebody had an idea for a workshop. Gosh, I don't remember who it was. But it was like, have you cried lately workshop.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, my God.
Haven't cried lately? Come to the workshop. It's a good time for a good cleanse.
You absolutely cry.
Yes.
Bring your Kleenex.
For me, it was like, discovering the different layers throughout my life of what it meant to love myself, and just really looking back, because in my 20s it was about like, okay, what can I do to take care of myself, to love myself more? So I'd go get manicures and pedicures, get massages, have me time, and that became just a way of being, just who I am. I take care of myself as a way to love myself, and then what I discovered for me is where my writing in the book came from was being in a relationship and the mirror that is, and then completing a relationship, and how I saw how I had made the relationship what defined me. I had made that what defined me, and once the relationship was done, I got that, wow, I have a lot of work to do on myself, to define myself, to love myself, to not need something else to validate who I am
Radical
anymore.
self-reliance.
Yes. And what that brought me to is, being very intentional and proactive and learning more about myself. So loving myself became knowing myself and accepting myself exactly how I am. I found so much ugly after the separation, so much ugliness within myself. And I came to love that ugliness. I came to love that part of me that's like a little girl that wants to throw a tantrum and that, will get ugly sometimes. And I just got to just love that girl, and not be so hard on myself for going there. And, after all this work I've done and all this transformation, I'm still banging on walls and angry, and now I just be like, that's just me, and that's my process. And it's okay if I lose it sometimes, and then I can forgive myself and love myself despite all that stuff, so, and then reading other women's journeys. And I think that's what the book really delivers on, is hitting on all those different aspects of being a goddess or even a human being in life, and what it takes to really take the journey of loving ourselves. It is a lifelong journey of coming to this space of I am God.
And it all starts with a question.
Yep.
Just ask yourself, how do I love myself? Or just with my journey, I didn't know the answer.
That was the question you asked every day?
Right.
How do I love myself today?
Show me, reveal to me what, what self-love is.
That's so beautiful.
Let that,
And that's a great place to start. I know with the She Loved Herself movements, we are going to be offering programs and challenges. So stay tuned, and I think what you said, Claudia, is a great place to start. Just ask yourself, because, how I discover how I love myself is a completely different journey than yours and yours and yours. And we can reflect on each other's journey and learn from each other's journey, but essentially honoring that we each have.
And that's what's so great about this book. It's just like I was saying earlier before we started the show, everybody in this book comes from all different walks of life. And I think that's beautiful, because a lot of times when you see a lot of books like this, it's always the same type of people writing the book. And it's just no, we've all had different experiences. We all came from different parts of the world. And it's beautiful for people, all of us, to come together and put aside our past and just it's not about us. It's connecting with people. And I think the point of consciousness in yoga is connecting with people and planting seeds. Hey, this was me before, and I found community, and find your community. And that's why I encourage people like the page. Don't feel oh, well, I'm not this type of person. No, we accept all. This is for everyone. So no matter where you at, no matter whether you in the nightlife or whatever, come.
Male or female too.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's it's for everyone. Not just a woman. It's not just a woman's book. It's we're all on the road to self-love, and men are getting that message now. They're in their own revolution. They just don't know it yet, and they're learning that what was expected of me before is not really working for me now in this new time. So yeah, man, get the book too.
And we have the website too.
So I think, for people to stay in touch, you can go to shelovedherself.com. And there's a subscribing, so you can subscribe to the email, which we're going to be sending out all kinds of, goodies. There's a lot coming.
And our launch, when we have our official launch.
We're going to have an official book launch party.
Yes, we're having a world tour and a pink bus. We're going to be flying around.
And there's also, this is just the first volume.
Yes.
So there's going to be She Loved Herself Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume. I mean,
we're going to go deeper.
We're going to go deeper, and it's going to be a process of, if you have a story to tell, then you reach out to us, and this is just going to keep on going, because there's so many stories to tell. The truth is,
God, yes.
The truth is, your story is important, and that's what I really wanted to get clear about with this. It's it's really funny because each of our gatherings, we would have our gatherings and we would come and we would meditate. And each of our gatherings, there'd be a resistance. Oh, Suki, I have too much work to do. Or I happen to always do it around the full moon, so it's kind of my own fault. And the full moon is always a time of completion. It's always a time of high emotions. So people would be calling or texting me and saying, Suki, I'm just feeling so emotional. Yes. I can't come. I'm a mess.
I don't want to show up. I was like, Suki, I'm crying right now.
I felt like I had to keep talking people off ledges, you know. And it was like, and then I would say, listen, breathe, hold on. Yeah. Don't you realize that's exactly how you need to show up?
And we're all
that's exactly where you need to be. Just come. And then they would come. Each woman would come, walk in the door like, oh God, I don't even want to. How can people look at me like this? And it would be like, wow. And we would leave and we would just feel this energy, this light, because the connection of the sisterhood. Yeah. Because we built a sisterhood.
Absolutely.
And there, there's a couple of people in this book that are not around here. I have a friend who's in the book who's in Israel, one in Chicago, but there was still this like sense of a community that we created.
It was a co-creation.
And a support.
And I think we can all agree too that when we share, we heal ourselves.
Yes.
And I think that's a really important message to put out there. I meet a lot of people who have dealt with a lot, and they'll tell me, Zayna, I just can't talk about it. It's too hard to talk about it. And my experience is the more I talk about it, the more I heal. Because we really, really heal each other with our sharing. So I just want to thank each of the authors of She Loved Herself for putting yourself out on the skinny branches of life, you know, being vulnerable, being courageous, being somebody who's willing to be of service, you know, and get yourself out of the way so that you can serve. And, you know, service for me is where it's at. It's the sexiest thing in the world.
Yes.
Serving is sexy. So we're going to wrap it up for today. I want to thank you all so much for showing up. Please share this video. This is an important video to share so people know about this movement, this book, and really all the sharing that's happened so that we can be there for each other. So wherever you are, please let's take a moment. Let's sit up if you're able to. Maybe close your eyes if that's available to you.
Yes. Let's take 3 deep breaths here together. With every inhalation, invite love into your heart. And with every exhalation, let out a little bit of the heaviness. There you go, exactly. Inhaling love. Exhaling heaviness. And sometimes when you feel that heaviness, just imagine like a bird, light like a feather, on your heart right now. It's just lifting. It's lifting. And being in this space of love. Just being in this energy that is you. And remember that it's okay to be exactly where you are. It's okay to be exactly where you are right now in your life.
Okay to be exactly